Hey guys, I'm going to be experimenting with different kinds of content, and I hope you guys stick around and enjoy. People in stock photos. What's the weirdest way you've seen your photos being used? When I was a kid, my mom took me for a photo shoot. Then, a month later, I was on a pamphlet that said, "Millions of children don't have homes, adopt one today." This takes place many years ago when foreigners were a rare sight in Japan. I'm a big, friendly looking white guy, and I was asked to do some photos of a couple on a date. So I go around to some scenic locals with a beautiful Japanese woman, the photographer, and his assistants. Fun day, took tons of romantic photos, and that was the end of it. Until a month or two later, when my date and I showed up on posters all over the subway as part of an AIDS awareness campaign, because you can catch that from foreigners, you know? Needless to say, my friends and coworkers thought it was hilarious, and amazingly, it didn't have any noticeable impact on my dating life. Looking back, my only regret is that I didn't steal one of the posters. I ended up finding myself on one of those now hiring posts on Facebook for a company I was trying to get hired at. My family did a stock photo shoot when our kids were young, like 1 and 3. A picture they took on our porch ended up in the opening credits for The Americans. My friend was in a stock photo where he held up a baby picture, and it got used for an anti-circumcision ad campaign. I was pretty shocked when I saw his face on the side of a bus. I have some friends that found one of their wedding pictures from Facebook somehow printed on a pillow in a market in a Middle Eastern country. Like, they just randomly happened upon their wedding photo in a random street market. They're from the US. I'm in an ad campaign in my home state in Australia for the government. I'm the face of "Don't buy alcohol for underage people." It's just me looking like a dad who's thinking of buying a drink, obviously for a teenager somewhere. Ironically, I don't actually have my own kids. I get emails from people I haven't heard from in years saying, "I saw you on the wall of the bottle shop," which is kind of funny. My ex used to work with a local photographer who is apparently pretty well known. He took a photo of me and my family, and now it's a permanent piece at the New Mexico Museum of Art in Santa Fe. So strange. I wonder how many people's houses I'm in. In the military, some cameramen tagged along on a mission. Like, 4 years later, I saw footage of me in a gun turret on the news. I guess news broadcasters oftentimes just play generic combat footage and photos that look Middle Eastern-y enough, and rightly assume nobody will notice that the shots were taken months or years before the actual incident they are talking about. I did a stock photo shoot about 10 years ago, and my photos show up in the weirdest places. 3 ex-boyfriends have texted me out of the blue after my stock photo showed up in their work training modules. Someone in my senior capstone class used my photo in their class presentation and didn't realize it was me until everyone kept awkwardly looking at the screen and looking back at me. Every so often, my face pops up in a sassy black lady meme, paired with text like, "Devil don't try me today," or "Too blessed to be stressed. Type amen if you agree." The weirdest in my opinion? My mom decided to join some crappy MLM makeup company because she was flipping through their catalog and saw that they had used one of my old stock photos as one of their makeup models. I was very obviously not wearing their makeup in the photos, and my stock photo didn't match any of their other models' photos. Basically, whoever designed the catalog was like, "Oh snap, we need some diversity in here." But they were too lazy to actually hire another model, so they just grabbed a stock photo of a black chick and called it a day. The strange thing is that my mom joined the company because my photo was in the catalog, but she had to have known that I wasn't wearing the company's makeup because she personally did my makeup for that stock photo shoot 5+ years earlier. In college, a photography student took some pictures of me playing classical guitar. I ended up in a Viagra ad. I was 19. I didn't even know I was in a stock photo until my grandma bought a picture frame at Sears with my T-ball team picture in it. When I was a senior in high school, I was chosen to do a stock photo shoot for a big health company. They didn't tell me what they were going to use my pictures for. I was just excited to get free clothes and a tiny bit of cash. The way I found out how to use my photos was when I went to the gynecologist about a year later and saw my picture on the wall. I was the face of teen pregnancy counseling. That time I modeled for a clip art company at 16 and ended up on dildo batteries. I found a photo from my private Facebook account on a news article, then a stock image site. It was a helicopter I worked on, out in the snow in Minnesota. They said it was Afghanistan in the article. I disputed the photo, but it's still there. I no longer post photos on Facebook because of this. I just did a Google machine search for it and it popped up as a second picture. It's on multiple sites, even a .gov. The money isn't what bothers me. My Facebook profile is pretty locked down, and the photo is on multiple sites, with a made-up story. My husband and I did stock photos when I was pregnant with our first. I ended up seeing myself later on the side of a bus, as well as in a pamphlet for young moms at my doctor's office. The more interesting part though is that my husband took part in another family shoot, various poses, cooking in the kitchen, etc. Years later, I was looking up a colleague on Facebook, and her cover photo was her and my husband chopping vegetables in a stock photo. I let a photographer friend take a stock photo of me. I looked sad in it, and it ended up in some website about victims of abuse. I was asked to go to a big opening event for a park in China. As a foreigner, this kind of thing is pretty common. They want some white faces, free food and drink, all the other guests had to pay. But in the end, they start guilt-tripping me. Put on this traditional Chinese costume, some kind of kung fu looking robe thing. Let us take some pictures, they say. Fine, I let them do it. A few weeks go by, and random people start pointing me out in public. My students are giggling in class. Finally, when I'm out and about, someone approaches me. Are you the guy from... and shows me a picture on the phone. My likeness in traditional wear has been printed on building-sized billboards around the city. I look goofy as fuck, all around the city where I live and work. My whole family modeled back in the 80s. Somehow, my dad ended up in a brochure for some born-again church that said he was a sinner and adulterer until he found Jesus. The university took a bunch of professional photos of me and some friends for their billboards and campaigns. I was pretty surprised to open a handbook and find out I was the face of their fine arts program, especially pottery. I was a neuroscience major. My father's a photographer, and so my sister and I were models for stock photography. I was on shopping bags in Mexico. My sister was in a bank brochure. My favorite though is when my sister's high school science class was reading from a textbook, and she sees a picture of me putting mascara on in the mirror. She yelled out to the class, "Hey, that's my sister." Apparently it gave everyone a good laugh. On a less funny note, I was a kind of chubby kid, so my dad did a whole shoot of me in a gray tracksuit, looking sad on a scale, and pinching my belly fat in the mirror, etc. Ended up being used in a child obesity campaign. He didn't tell me what it was used in until years later. Not me, but my younger brother had his picture taken when he was about 9 or 10 for the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. My brother was a really cute red-headed kid with freckles, and they asked my mom if they could use his photo for their promotional materials. A few months later, we get a brochure in the mail with my brother's face on it, talking about the Big Brothers program. It was really funny because they had changed his name to Timmy, and in little kid handwriting, written things like, "I really need a big brother," and "Have you found me a big brother yet?" and then ended it with, "Love, Timmy." My siblings and I laughed a lot over it, and called my brother Timmy for weeks. My ex was on a bus stop ad for her college, but someone turned her into Hitler with a missing tooth.